Death and Abyss is a horror sci-fi spaceship shooter in a gameplay style similar to Star Fox, where you take on impossibly large and uncaring creatures in the coldness of space. Okay, so my dumbass wasn't reading. This is underwater. Yeah, there's a demo for this one, and I feel like I'm able to give a little bit more of a detailed look at it than some of the others. It controls flawlessly, and I would hope so too, since you're just a ship, you don't have to worry about complex animations. Despite that limitation of being just a vehicle, there's lots of detail that make it feel and look amazing whenever you boost and dodge, just lots of flair. The gameplay is frantic as hell, and despite that, the more you play, the more you learn how to deal with everything, kind of like a regular old bullet hell. There are great telegraphs for attacks that are either auditory or visual, and each one, at least from what I've played from the demo, is very distinct. It's very challenging and demands a lot of attention, especially the bosses. It's really fun and addictive though. To top it all off, that atmosphere is peak. It's dark, it's scary. Your ship is like a minnow in a sea of monsters. Project Shikai. I've been following this game ever since it made the rounds on Twitter and they were using Zoro as a stand-in character model. This game seems to have so much variety. I see movement, dodging, projectiles, throws, parrying, juggling. The first-person perspective is unique and exciting, and it looks like it's going to be one of those games that you and your buddy can play again and again and again because one of you was just a hit away from winning. Abyss X Zero is a bombastic third-person action game with a vibrant level and character design. Tons of set pieces, anime-inspired cutscenes, varied gameplay. It looks hype. It reminds me of Mega Man Legends. I wouldn't be surprised if that was an inspiration. It's got a lot of heart, and I'm really excited to see it finished. FUMES is a bouncy and chaotic vehicle combat game with a focus on shooting and customization. Vehicle combat just makes me think of Twisted Metal, but this very much feels like its own thing. I played the demo, by the way. I was a little worried how it would feel overall, but it controls great. It kind of punishes you for turning too much though, like focusing too much on the driving. It pushes you towards aiming and shooting, which is kind of a genius design. A lot of the things in your way you can just break, and occasionally you just have to check back and make sure you're not crashing into anything. The demo is very generous, 3 whole bosses and a couple of different environments. I thought it was just going to be desert too, so I was really happy when I saw like a wooded landscape. It just felt really cool. After a couple of hours, the game turns out to be surprisingly chill because of the gameplay loop. Just roam around, look for firefights, challenge bosses, and upgrade your vehicle, and you can also do a lot of customization. I spent like an hour on just that, and I was having so much fun. FUMES is going to be more of a relaxing game than an exciting one, in my opinion. The Big Catch is a silky smooth and beautiful platformer that feels on par with Nintendo's best of the GameCube era, even borrowing from the graphical stylings of the time. There's a demo for it, and it's really its own standalone small game called The Big Catch Tackle Box. The game gives you a few tools, but I don't feel like it gives you all of the applications for those tools. There were just points that I felt stuck for a minute. In several cases, I just had a skill issue. It feels like a game for platformer enthusiasts rather than anyone looking to pick up a platformer. I don't know how the final game is going to handle progression or tutorials, but I hope it's a little more in-depth than this one. Aside from that, this is shaping up to be a perfect platformer. I also love the main character with a little bucket hat. It goes really hard. Fly Night is a simplistic, co-op, old-school dungeon crawler with a serious care for that old-school feeling with modern design philosophies. The graphics make me feel like you're just playing first-person RuneScape with the delightfully crunchy sound effects to go with it. It goes really hard, and unfortunately I don't have too much to say. I do like how weighty these swings look. Hopefully Chesh will boot it up with me at some point. This game actually came out January 31st. That's my bad. I wanted to get this out sooner, but I got sick. Uh-oh. I'm gonna die.
Oh, what do you... Oh, that's my stamina wall. I was like, no! I thought my entire health went down crazy style. Oh! Oh. I blasting fucking you.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, you got me. Dude, I had you so close. Oh, you're dancing on me. Oh, you're doing the fucking gritty. Oh, this is horror. This couldn't be worse.
500 Caliber Contractz. I didn't know what the fuck this game was before I played it. It's like something out of an early 2000s message board. It's a collectathon. The movement is really, really weird, but once I got used to it, I had a lot of fun going around and exploring. You're an assassin, you have a sniper rifle, you can shoot with it, but you also use it to platform. It generates a crazy amount of momentum opposite to where you shoot it. I kinda love it. It kinda fucking rocks.
Goblin America is a nude game you can play. It refers to the idea of an America inhabited by goblins. You play as the president. In this scene, the president is way below the surface of the earth, and he's found a secret path, and he's discovered a chest plate. The next time he's at home, he puts the chest plate on, and it changes him. See how he looks different with it on. The word for this is interesting. He also behaves differently now. He's stronger, but he moves too slowly. He can't slide anymore. It's stupid.
I thought I'd let the ad say it for itself. It's very much a contemporary game, meaning it's kind of hard to describe what it is without making a comparison to Cruelty Squad. Just a mess of a game that you could have fun with if you're bored with the genre or games in general and you want something that plays with your expectations of a video game. The demo doesn't give me much of a detailed look, just a taste. I think the real joy of the game will be playing with all of the weird gear and mechanics. Tamashika! Very simply, this looks like the daughter of Post-Void, a fast-paced psychedelic shooter. Tamashika looks like it has a couple of more mechanics to keep you engaged, as if you needed more engagement in a game like this. It has things like parrying and a little quick time events. Not too sure how big the game is, but it looks great, and it was worth a look in my opinion. Also, this seems to be more arcadey than Post-Void. Post-Void was more of a roguelike. Nightmare Operator is a hellaciously cool third-person shooter where you're meant to hunt yokai. I yearn for this game. It looks so damn fine. The game is apparently taking cues from fighting games in order to test the player's skills and reaction. It's got a heavy focus on action and combat, but I can't watch the gameplay and not be taken by the exceptional tone and visuals. Motorslice is an atmospheric game about traversing an old city populated by rogue construction bots. It's a vibe for sure. I can see myself playing it just to unwind, and in a way I can see it reminding me of Ico, however you say that, with the exploration being the true focus, despite having competent combat. It looks lovely. Midnight Walk, a horror adventure game whose characters are made entirely of clay and scanned for the most uncanny effect with what appears to be a very striking soundtrack. I don't know much about the game, but it seems to be like one for those that appreciate the ungodly lengths that some people can go through to create soul-touching art. Labyrinth of the Demon King. This game looks like hell given life. In ancient Japan, you're searching for the demon who betrayed your lord. It's a simple story, but what has me are the visuals. Something about them, the sound effects, they genuinely upset me. There isn't a lot of color, but there is so much going on with the textures that it forces me to look at it. The animations in the trailer are creepy as hell, and there's no fanfare when you plant an axe in a body. It's just ominous, gross, and weird. I'm very excited to play it. Don't Stop Girlypop looks like a ridiculously fast-paced arena shooter where you shoot people in the head with love. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it looks funny as hell. And I like arena shooters, so I'll probably have a look. Yeah, sorry, I can't do that voice for long. Combo Devils looks like another Smash-inspired deal, and ever since Rivals 2, I'm way more hopeful for games that come out having that sort of energy. Like with any of these games, I think you need your hands on it to really know how it feels, so I'll have to reserve judgment. Skate Story by Sam Ang looks like a chill as fuck game, with a smooth soundtrack by Blood Cultures, and loads of environments for you to just have fun with the main mechanic of skating. It's gorgeous, serene, just lovely. Not much to say, it speaks for itself. Sushi Ben looks like a fun adventure VR game inspired by slice-of-life anime set on delivering you a fun and varied experience. I barely pop out my helmet, but I might have to for this one. It looks so chill. A pleasantly simple art style with fun animations. Also, the writer is the very same that made Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating sim if you're old enough to remember that. It's adding up to be a silly adventure and an earnest attempt to make you, the player, smile. Delta Perspective, a horror puzzle stealth game made by Skeleton Studios, the On Your Hands devs. I have a video on that I'm very proud of, by the way, check it out. Delta Perspective is its own thing separate from that, but the visuals really reminded me of it, being worked on by the same artist and all. The main mechanic is eye shifting, taking the perspective of enemies while having relative information on how far away you are from them. You can see through their eyes while they behave as they normally would, but you remain vulnerable, so you need to pick very safe spots to do this. And make sure you familiarize yourself with the map through the enemies to remain unseen. There is a weapon, a rifle, and the reloading on it is absolutely insane. You use your mouse to physically reload the rifle instead of just pressing a button. It really makes using your weapons a last resort, especially because you're not given very much ammo. And it doesn't even remove the monsters, it only stuns them. There is a quicker option, a pistol, but it's just not as effective. It's like spraying a cat with water. Also, because I played it, I can say the music was lovely. It was horror themed for sure, but it felt unique. There was some calming elements to it. I'm not very experienced with horror, but it seems unique to me. It seems like it's going to be another incredibly interesting horror game from Skeleton. I love it, and I'm planning to play it when it comes out. Samurai Unicorn is a third-person cyberpunk horror action game that reeks of Dead Space. Lots of exploration, but lots of action too, with a gritty feeling to the animations. Not only that, the shooting requires you to target limbs at times. There's over-the-top melee options as well. It just looks like a bombshell of an indie. Also, do you see the main character? She fucking serves. Oh my god. Finally, the pick that I'm most excited for this year. Do you know the scene in Akira where the members of a gang are riding around town causing trouble, beating each other up as they ride? Airframe Ultra wants you to live in that scene. It's a third-person action PvP racing game created by the Rain World devs, Akapura Games, and Video Cult. There was a lot of fast-paced action in the trailer, and the demo is the absolute bare minimum. There ain't even sound, but it feels lovely to control. I can't wait to get into an actual game. Just looking at the speed, I can imagine the experience with the sound of the water splashing your bike, crashing, intense music. Also, the customization is fantastic. I wasn't expecting this, but you have all sorts of outfits, body types that affect your weight, hitboxes, and HP. The only thing it felt like it didn't customize super hard, which is weird, is your bikes. I'm sure there'll be more visual options in the future though. I hope I can get my friends to play this when it comes out because it looks like a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. I hope you saw a game or two that was worth adding to your wish list, and videos like these are meant to signal boost some of the most outstanding works that I just so happen to come across online. Hundreds of indies get released every year, and I just don't see them all. So if there's one that's coming out in the future, give them a shout in the comments. I might see them and might end up making a video on them one day. I have a pretty loose definition of what indie games are. The term indie was kind of borrowed from the music scene, which is way different from the indie game scene. Some of these games technically aren't independent, they have their own publishers, but indie's more of a vibe, you know? It's hard to pin down. Maybe I'll make a short or something on that. Regardless, I hope you'll join me. Hope you had fun and have yourself a damn good one.
Oh yes. How do you do this?
Hold down Z.
Oh yes.
Holy shit, the theme go